Hi, I'm Teacher Erica, your teacher for this lesson. To all learners, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or any time of the day you're watching this video. Before we start the lesson, let's play a game. Suppose we're going to make a bracelet. You have three colors, blue, pink, and yellow. Fill in those three blanks, and I'll give you 10 seconds to answer. Time's up! If you still don't have an answer, you can pause this video. If you're done, that's right. This is the bracelet that we made. The first blank is pink. The next one is blue. And lastly, yes, it's yellow. That is what we call pattern. However, most methods, we are going to use numbers instead of definite reason, since this is a higher level of math. For our first lesson in quarter 1, we will talk about the sequence. Let's proceed to the introduction part. After going through this lesson, you're expected to generate patterns and sequences. Probably, without even knowing it, you have been observing and creating patterns ever since you were a small child. You probably made repeating patterns with shapes, such as the one in your module with triangles, circles, and squares. Look at the example of the pattern. Triangle, triangle, circle, then square. And again, it is repeated with triangle, triangle, circle, and square again. Now, let's define what is a sequence. A sequence is a set of numbers written in a specific order: A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, up to the AN. The number A1 is called the first term. A2 is the second term. And in general, AN is the nth term. Let's use the previous game for you to understand it more. Blue will be the 1, yellow will be the 2, and pink will be the 3. Just like the pattern, the first term will be the 1, the second term will be the 2, and the third term will be the 3. The fourth term repeated to 1, and the fifth term also repeated to 2, up to the 14th term, which is the number 2. Let's proceed to the illustrative examples. In the first illustrative examples, it is about the types of sequence. The two types of sequence is finite sequence and infinite sequence. Finite sequence is a sequence with last term, while infinite sequence is a sequence without last term. Again, finite sequence have last term, while infinite sequence doesn't have the last term. Look at the examples on your module. In the finite sequence, we have 12, 15, 17, 19, 21, up to the 27. The next example is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, and 13. And the last example of the finite sequence is 5, 5, 5, 5, and 5. All of it have a last term. On the first example, we have 27. On the second, we have 13. On the last and third example, we still have 5. On the examples of infinite sequence, we have 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, up to the infinity. The next one is 1, 1, 2, 3, 5, again up to the infinity. And the last and third example is 1, negative 1, 1, negative 1, and again up to the infinity. All of it doesn't have a last term. It usually ends with three dots signifying that it's infinite. But don't be confused. There are cases where there are also three dots in the middle of finite sequence. Just like the first example in the finite sequence, we have three dots in the middle. However, we still have last term, which is the 27. Let's proceed to the second illustrative example. It is about finding the next term of a sequence. For this example, you have to find the next term of the sequence 19, 24, 29, and 34. To solve this sequence, first, you must observe the pattern of the sequence 19, 24, 29, and 34. There are odd numbers and even numbers. The numbers end with either 9 or 4. Second, you must observe the interval of each term. From 19 and 24, how much is the interval? 5. From 24 to 29, how much is the interval? 5 also. And from 29 to 34, again, how much is the interval? Yes, it's 5 again. Therefore, for the next term, the interval is also, yes, it is also 5. Now, we have the answer. To get the next term of the pattern, you have to add 5 to the previous number. Back to our sequence, 19, 24, 29, and 34. Now we have to add 5 to the 34. Therefore, the answer is 39. Now, let's proceed to the illustrative example 3. It is the same as the last illustrative example where you have to find the next term of the sequence. For this example, you have to find the next term of the sequence 6, 12, 24, and 48. Just like with the previous example, you just have to observe the pattern of the sequence and observe the interval of each term. For this example, 6 is multiplied by 2 to get 12, and 12 is multiplied by 2 to get 24, and 24 is also multiplied to get 48. Therefore, to get the next term of the sequence, you just have to multiply the 48 by 2, and the answer will be, yes, that's right, it's 96. If you need to get the next term of the sequence again, you just have to multiply again the 96 by 2, and you'll get 192. This is because the rule of the sequence that we have to multiply the previous term by 2 to get the next term. For you to understand the rule of the sequence, let's proceed to the illustrative example number 4. For this example, you have to find the first four terms of the given rule an is equals to 3n minus 2. If you have given a rule, you just have to substitute the n by the number of terms. For the first term, you just have to substitute the n by 1. So you'll get 3 times 1 minus 2. You just need to do the same for the second term, third term, and also the fourth term. For the first term, 3 times 1 is equals to 3, minus 2 equals to 1. For the second term, 3 times 2 is 6, minus 2, yes, 4. For the third term, 3 times 3 is 9, minus 2, it equals to 7. For the fourth term, 3 times 4 is 12, minus 2, yes, it's 10. Therefore, the first four terms, the given rule an is equals to 3n minus 2 is 1, 4, 7, and 10. That's all for the introduction part of the Lesson 1 sequence. If you want to practice more, go to the description of this video or to the attached PDF file to solve more problems about sequence. It is not graded, it is for you to practice and have mastery of the lesson. Be ready for the development part of the Lesson 1 sequence. Don't forget to study and always take care of yourself during this pandemic. Goodbye and see you in the next video. God bless!